Welcome back to Star Trek Online, everybody. I'm your host, Housecoat Gamer. Due to mic issues, I had to have Take read most of the line, but I really do want to make it clear. So, why is everyone so pissed off about the Tal Shiar destroyer? Well, to be fair, I'm not exactly happy either. But that's only because of a minor nitpick. Now, let's read from the book. The oral history of Wolf 359. We have engaged the Borg. As read by a statement by Commander Tabak. Oh, by the way, in case anyone's wondering, why the hell am I reading from a Gamma book? Well, the answer is very depressingly simple. Cryptic actually adapted the book into the Wolf 359 STF. The Bonstel was actually used for that, to lay the trap. So, there you go. That is why everything, but I'm going to read it out. Commander Tabak, former commander, Romulan Imperial Star Navy. As interviewed, Paradise City, Nimbus 3, Stardate 69181.9. Approximately 7 years after the Hopus supernova. I was a loyal soldier of the Empire. I swore never to divulge what I saw, but Romulus is no more, and the Empire a mere memory that fades a little more every day. In 25 years I have never spoken of this. All my life I was taught to hate the Federation and all it claimed to represent. We were taught that you were weak, undisciplined, and barely worthy of our attention. And we were taught that Starfleet was a joke, that it lacked the will to fight and would surrender if ever faced with a threat that might cause its officers to spill their tea. When I first heard of this mission to shepherd the Borg into Federation space, I thought it was delightfully wicked, and took no small amount of pride at the thought of Starfleet fleeing for their pitiful lives as their own arrogance destroyed them. The Borg were the ultimate incarnation of the Federation's values: infinite diversity and infinite combinations. As we approached the system you call Wolf 359, we detected the presence of sensor buoys in the area. I ordered the Karas to go ahead and destroy them. I was confident in the integrity of our cloaks, but it made no sense to risk any inadvertent detection. Then we picked up the fleet of ships sitting around the edge of the system, waiting. A paltry 40 starships. There would be no match for the Borg. I thought the tiny fleet would be beneath their notice, but they drop out of warp right in the middle of the system, in front of a single unmanned science vessel. It had all the hallmarks of a ritualistic sacrifice where the villagers offer up a maiden to appease some giant monster of a myth and scurry around the perimeter to gauge the monster's reaction. Then the ship detonated a massive graviton burst. We were caught completely on guard and had to hide behind the Borg. To prevent anyone from detecting us, the risk of it degrading our cloaks was remote, but we had orders to ensure that Starfleet did not report our presence and then remove all evidence, including ourselves. But the cloak remained intact, and there seemed to be no other damage. The Borg ship was also undamaged, but it would be some time before we would be able to use the warp drive. I corrected my assessment of Starfleet's intentions. What had looked like a sacrifice was a trap. And that science vessel was the bait. It was very strange and not at all what we expected from Starfleet. And then you did it. Or at least you tried to do it. The interviewer asks, to do what? Tabak continues, you tried to destroy the star. You tried to unleash a stellar weapon to stop the Borg. By that time we realized what had happened. If the weapon had been successful, we would have been destroyed along with the Borg. In that moment I felt a curious mixture of fear, admiration, awe, and anger. The Federation is always the first to crow on about morality and to sit in judgment over others for how they can defend their borders and their citizens. Yet here you were, attempting to unleash a stellar weapon. The anger I felt was not that you had tried this, it's that we never did. It never occurred to us to develop such a weapon against Eleoste. If we had, countless worlds would have been spared, and perhaps we would have been able to secure all of our borders. It was Genesis all over again. Clearly, whatever was supposed to have happened did not. I anticipated the fleet would head back to Earth to rendezvous with a larger force to hold the Borg back. Instead, wave after wave attacked. I think they knew they were doomed. The Borg took several ships, as is their way, and then warped out of the system, their noble crews being infected by the Borg. We detected them harvesting crew from other ships, presumably species they had never encountered or genetic hybrids they wished to examine closer. It was a slaughter. It went on for 30 of your minutes. There was but one last ship. Hunted like a Klingon hunts a target. Then it was done, and there was silence. The mood on the bridge of the Susethrai had grown somber. The effects of the grammaton burst disrupted our sensors, but we could see escape pods among the debris. A few shuttles tried to move, but when they strayed too close to the Borg, they were destroyed or pulled aboard. The Borg were now performing a systematic search of the system, though to this day I do not know what they were seeking. The Karas had reported the ship which had launched the sterile weapon. There was something I was very interested in, so I ordered the Karas to remain with the Borg and took the Susethrai to investigate. I will be skipping ahead to the most part. I should have continued on after the Karas with the Borg, but I was hesitant to leave. On Romulus there was a tradition when one had done service to the Empire, had died, someone would watch over them until the family arrived to prepare the body for the rites and the journey was to come. So we waited and watched for several hours. It was my intention that when Starfleet came, we would resume our course towards Earth, but when the Enterprise arrived, it merely slowed to pay tribute in passing, before leaving the system in its pursuit. It was another 72 hours before relief began to arrive. I still have nightmares. Not about the battle. No, that was noble and right. I have nightmares thinking about those alone, adrift in the ruins of the fleet as it slowly drifted through the void. I sometimes imagine I am trapped in one of those derelict hulks, and know I am out there watching, waiting, cloaked, and I wonder why I won't come and help. Why won't I answer the distress beacon? I scream into a comm unit begging for me to come and save myself. But all that answers me is silence. That is disturbing. Horrifying in ways that it's disturbing, and the fact that I'm getting emotional about it, I guess I could be a good actor if I could get into the role like that. Anyway, that is why the Tal Shiar Destroyer is an STO, is in the bundle. Now, personally, I personally believe it should have been the battlecruiser, because both of those vessels were Didiridex class, and the battlecruiser is Didiridex class. Borged all to hell, while this Romulan ship, there it is basically a Delan that's been borged all to hell. But that's why I don't have a problem with it. The book is excellent. It has many flaws that unfortunately were translated into STO, such as the Hood somehow being the 40th starship when all other material has it as the Endeavor. The Endeavor makes sense, after all. Why would Janeway quote Amazov if he never encountered the Borg? So I'm gonna say somebody screwed up. Also, that the Endeavor survived the Battle of Sector 001 as well. So someone really screwed up when they decided to adapt part of the Battle of Sector 001. So yeah, somebody made a massive mistake. Regardless, that is why I don't understand why people are bitching. If they did a modicum of research, went on for 2 minutes and went, oh, this is why the ship is in the bundle, I now suddenly feel very stupid. Sorry. But they didn't. None of them ever even commented on it. And I'm calling them out on it. Now, Cryptic made mistakes. They included the Hood when they should have included the Endeavor. All apocryphal material prior to that book being released said the Endeavor was the last ship. So, that's why I don't have a problem with the Tal Shiar destroyer. Well, my minor nitpick is that it should have been the battle cruiser instead of the destroyer, but again, minor problem, minor nitpick. I can live with that. It's another extra Romulan boat. And it more than makes up for the price of this bundle, even at full price, because guess what? How many keys, how many lockboxes are you going to go through just to get one of these things? The chances of it are minuscule. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. At least 20 zeros before you finally reach a positive number. That's how many decimal points you get before you finally get the chance to go, hi, I can get this ship. Or any ship from the lockbox. That's why I don't complain about these things. Because for the price of... What's the price of this right now? 1,300 Zen? I save more. And I get it account-wide. So I don't see the point of complaining about it. There you go. That's the redo of my bundle review. My Starship reviews can wait. The next time somebody goes, this was a dumb idea, or doesn't bother going, hi, here's some information, go read up on it. Like I said, I have many, many problems with one or two of these ships, specifically the Oahi, because it just confuses me, but I don't mind. I would prefer this to be a carrier, a flight deck carrier, effectively a cruiser with 2 hangar slots, but that's fine. Minor nitpick. But I don't see a problem with the destroyer. Well, other than the fact that it should be the battle cruiser, but again, that's a minor nitpick. One that may be fixed in a future mud bundle. I can live with that. Housecoat Gaming, signing off.